2025 and 2026 is going to be the era of gacha games. Just this year and last year, we have received a huge amount of news and releases with unique types of gacha games starring different prominent companies. They have overwhelmed the market and have given exposure to their games and slowly but surely creeping up to the gaming space as part of the mainstream area. Just last year, we received a lot of gacha games with high quality level of implementation and definite potential for one of the best games in the space for the entire decade. We are going to be diving deep why I think that we are currently in the era of gacha games. Gacha games in general have a horrible but unique reputation in the space of games. They are mocked and spit down upon plenty of players, treating it as a garbage dump for slop and unpolished games that its only purpose is to rob and steal the consumer's money with their marketing and in-game currency shops. This gives players a bad impression of the game and to the people who want to try the game as well. One of the most famous gacha games in existence, Genshin Impact, have started this foundation of gacha games, presenting immense global success, accumulating millions and millions and millions of downloads, and cashing out extreme loads of wealth across different parts of the world. They also amassed a huge player base that supports and loves the game. This has continued for a few years and is still in service until today. This set the foundation of what a gacha game can be and how a gacha game can affect the gaming sphere. However, time is a terrifying thing. As the days, months, and years go by, people will slowly compare the games they love to other current games, just to justify how good or how bad a game is. The case was the same with Genshin Impact. Being solely compared to the hit game Legend of Zelda was attracting the hate of the entire generations of fans loving the said game. Nonetheless, this gave gacha games a spotlight to both hate and love from people among the gaming space and arguably still present till today. But despite that, what if I told you that gacha games are starting to look like AAA games quality level? If you didn't know, a AAA game, or AAA games, is a classification used within the video gaming industry to signify high-budget, high-profile games that are typically produced and distributed by large, well-known publishers. This basically means that any game that has inherited the word AAA means it is very likely a high-quality game made with exceptional development, one of the best voice acting, one of the best stories, animations, models, gameplay, traversal, and so on. Great examples of AAA games with a high quality level implementation: Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, GTA 5, Elden Ring, and so forth. So, how do gacha games fare in comparison in these games? Well, not even close. The amount of detail and passion put into these games are so high level that gacha games look like slop in comparison. Because even if a game is in the gaming sphere, is exceptional on gacha gaming standards, what truly breeds their potential is competition. And in the topic of gacha games, Genshin Impact had no real competition as a standalone open world gacha game, except with actual games, which are not even as close for a comparison. They're flourishing version after version and people are happily praising it at that time. However, consumers are conditioned to like something if they only eat a specific meal in a single restaurant. If you're the only restaurant in town, of course, you're the best restaurant. It's natural for people to like something and only that something in their vicinity, if that's the only thing that exists in their space. Within the gacha space, Genshin Impact was alone in the vast space of diamonds and roughs, and the consumers were starting to find a way to excite the competition, to engage and cause further pressure to the space. And there, the term Genshin Killer was born. It basically credits a game that will dominate and provide that Genshin can still improve to bigger heights and be as close to the current AAA title's quality at the time. We can find this competition becoming larger and prominent when the term was slinged around like HIV, seeing it in every single comment that you could possibly see, and people always imbuing hatred in each other's respective community. Until the existence of a game called Tower of Fantasy was born. Everybody was excited, waiting for the game to come out, and soon as it came out, everybody was surprised on how it failed to become the Genshin killer. Sadly, Tower of Fantasy never reached the heights of Genshin Impact. The bugs were going rampant.
Is the big titty chick gonna be here? Oh my god. Yup.
Story never clicked with the consumers, but they were not enough to entice players. As much as people love this game, to bust out Genshin Impact in this shell and crack that juicy uproar in the space, it just never happened with Tower of Fantasy. So this just gave ammunition salt to the wound with what just happened, proving that Genshin Impact is the best possible existence of a gacha game in the gacha space, that it will never go beyond the lengths of GTA 5, Elden Ring or Zelda itself, which is true, yeah, until we see another Genshin killer, there really is no chance for the gacha gaming space to flourish or improve at the same time. That is until March 26, 2022, Wuthering Waves. Barely anyone knew about the game, and during those days, no one really noticed it as a scale as Genshin Impact back then. Wuthering Waves is a 2024 open world action RPG developed by Kura Games. To some gacha players, this is just another tower fantasy situation, another Genshin killer. And it is very sad that every single game that will be competing in the same genre as Genshin will never get away with the Genshin killer allegations. The community is far too gone deep with the comparisons that the only way for it to end is the actual term to be truth. With Wuthering Waves, despite its non-noticeable presence in the space, people are still excited. Their excitement, however, was not unfounded, just because the creator of Wuthering Waves, Kuro Games, also made a previous game in their backpack called PGR or Punishing Grey Raven. PGR is a fast-paced, stylish free-to-play action RPG with a gacha system. This game boasts intense gameplay with complex bosses and high-quality animations. Not only does it provide excitement, it also provides player-friendly, as the game is designed for you to get your designated character way easier than normal gacha games. This gives Wuthering Waves a slight boost with their reputation and can help flourish their game in release. Everybody is looking forward to how the game will fare at release. At its release, however, it was another tower fantasy situation. The game kept on crashing, the devices of the respective players were still lagging despite its requirements being met, the players were disappointed, and this shows how unpolished Wuthering Waves was on release. But fortunately, there was a significant difference behind these mess-ups. The devs listened. This term praises developers regarding the issues and problems being addressed in the game, together with the compensation, like in-game currency, being handed to the players for their troubles. This already gives Wuthering Waves an edge despite not being a perfect game at release, but shows true care about the players in general. But again, the launch of both Tower of Fantasy and Wuthering Waves was rough. However, Wuthering Waves became the standard for players because of how responsive Kuro Games were. With Wuthering Waves' recent updates, it looks almost like a AAA game. In the end, both games neither became the Genshin killer, but a competitor. So, why am I talking about this? The emergence of Tower of Fantasy and Wuthering Waves, no matter how bad or good they are right now, they have helped the foundation of gacha games. Because of that, more gacha games are emerging better niches and features, like both Black Beacon and the Serial Restart, providing a 100% chance to get a limited character instead of 50%. Neverness to Everness with a GTA-like basis for development, which is by the way created by the studios of Tower of Fantasy themselves, Hara Studios. Chaos Zero Nightmare, a dark fantasy RPG that seems to base on Epic 7, its previous predecessor. Another GTA-like and Spider-Man-like feature as basis for development is Ananta, a Dark Souls-looking gacha game, Unending Dawn, which looks fascinating. Wong Lue, The Midnight Abyss, Dark Knight's Anfield, Azure Promelia, Silver Palace, and Reviving Cadence are gacha games that follow the same open-world feature of current open-world gacha games but have their own unique take on exploration, mechanics, gameplay, and world building. The amount of improvements, graphical upgrades, and concept implementation are insane. This goes beyond just like the Genshin Impact versus insert gacha game. This is now an all-out war. The survival of the fittest. The first to mess up and fail to compensate dies, and the competitors will devour each other. So, with all of that being said, I don't really think it is a stretch to really call this the era of gacha games.